You keep it quiet, we say it loud. The things you hide, we're calling out. Double lies and blurred lines, love that cuts, truth that bites. Sex, secrets, and a little sass. Nothing stays buried when you drop the mask. We're the Gen Sexers, no shame, no filter. Just the truth, but hotter.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Sex, Secrets, and Sass. I'm Angie.
And I'm Krissy, and we are the Gen Sexers. Woohoo! So I recently came across this video. A friend of mine had gone down a rabbit hole, and she sent me this video called The Impact of Patriarchy on Heterosexual Sex. It's from the YouTube channel Breaking Down Patriarchy with Amy and Celeste. I don't have their last names right now, but we're going to link all that in our show notes below. I found it really fascinating. It's only like a 20-minute, 17-minute video, but really chocked full of information and statistics and things that will make you
go,
things that make you rageful at the patriarchy. So one question that they pose is, why do so many straight heterosexual married women not enjoy sex?
I thought that was interesting.
I thought that was really interesting.
And the way, and Celeste was talking about how, 3 different friends of hers were getting divorced. And in their marriages, they thought they were asexual. And then after the divorce, they became very aware that no, they weren't. And so Celeste, and it might have been both of them, I don't know, but they put in their Instagram asking, is this how people feel? And then she called 3 of the commenters. And through the conversations, she basically learned that women in heterosexual partnerships, it's not that we're not wanting sex with men, it's that we're not wanting sex for men.
Yeah, and that's a big distinction.
Big distinction. Big. Like, when I realized that I was maybe having more sex when I really wasn't in the mood compared to my partner. Well, if he's not in the mood, okay, guess
we're not.
but if I'm not in the mood, it's not that I was forced or anything, but, this is probably my upbringing. I felt obligated.
Right. Absolutely. Like it was your duty, right? It's your duty as a wife to provide your vagina for your husband's penis.
And I want to keep him happy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, after a trip to Italy one time, we came back home and he wanted chicken parmesan, and I put the chicken parmesan down on the table. And
I can't wait to hear this story.
this is a joke between us because I'm watching him from across the table looking at the food. And I literally said, I so wish you would look at me the way you're looking at my chicken.
So I feel like that's a euphemism now.
He loves food, right? So you're welcome, honey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think about a friend of mine who is married, and for like 20 years of their marriage, it really was her duty. Like he would tell her, this is your duty. He needed it every single day. Every day he had to let it out. And so she had to, I put that in quotes, give him sex, whether it was, here's my vagina, stick it in, or I'll give you a blowjob.
He couldn't go masturbate some of those days?
It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. He couldn't get off the same as her pleasuring him. And it was never about her. She never got pleasured. It was all about serving him. And this is like in the 2000s, girl. Isn't that crazy? For 20 years.
20 years. Yep. Yeah, that's
so. So back to the video, they also talked about like the very definition of sex is penetration. is heterosexual sex, is the insertion of a penis into a vagina. That is the definition of sex, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, and I think Wikipedia and all the places, right? That is what,
Including our court system.
and including our court system.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting. One of the things that I also found really interesting, and I think many people who might be listening to this are aware, but maybe you're not, but so much of, um, studies and stuff in the medical field were on males, what happens with the males. Like, even just recently, within the last few years, how ADHD shows up differently in girls and how,
Mhm.
like, everything is geared towards the man. And it wasn't until 2005. So think how long we've had the medical field. And it wasn't until 2005 by a Dr. O'Connell. And I can't remember
Mhm.
her first
In
name, but
Australia. Yeah.
Australia. He mapped the clitoris
Mhm.
and found, and this was just in 2005,
Yeah, this is 21 years ago, folks. 21 years ago.
that the clitoris was finally mapped out
Accurately,
medically,
right.
and they found it to be 10,000 times bigger than
Oh,
what
I
they
think it's
thought.
10 times bigger.
Oh, 10.
10 times. I mean, 10,000 times bigger, it would be bigger than our bodies.
Yeah,
But
not good
10
enough.
times bigger, which is still a lot, which, oh my gosh, that reminds me. So in grad school, I took an elective on human sexuality. That was a fascinating course. And I didn't even know how big the clitoris was until that was what, 2014 maybe, that I took this course. I had no idea that it literally has legs. Like, it has these legs. They're called legs that go into the vulva. And it's fascinating.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I didn't know it
Learned
either.
something new.
Yeah, so girls, your clitoris has legs.
Wow. So ours have
Oh,
legs, theirs has balls. I think I
right.
have legs,
I don't know. I think legs trump balls
I would say.
any day. Yeah. A leg can beat a ball. I don't know.
I was kinda thinking, "Let's go play some kickball."
But yeah, how crazy is that? That our clitoris was not mapped out accurately until the 2000 aughts? Okay, that's just insane.
Yeah. So you've got the medical field not really knowing about women.
Yeah.
And
And
then
also, I was
yeah,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
also, like, back to sex being intercourse, right? The penetration. And the statistics of only 18.4% of women report that intercourse alone is sufficient for orgasm, whereas 95% of men. That is a very small percentage, 18.4%. I remember I was in my 20s and I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought there was something wrong with me that I could not have an orgasm through penetration alone.
Mhm.
And I read all these books about it because I thought something's wrong with me. I need some help. And I learned that statistic long ago because I was just wanting to help explain why I just couldn't orgasm that way. And I don't know that a lot of men know that. So we
How
have to, like, a lot of us, 80, what is that? That's 82% of us need some sort of clitoral stimulation,
Yeah. And how much of you thought that something was wrong with you because
right?
of that?
Hmm. I thought that for years that there's something wrong with me.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That had to be hard.
Yeah. Hmm.
Thinking, "How can I be so defective that I can't even have an orgasm?" Yeah.
And then
Something
even knowing that, like, even knowing that, how many more years did I go kinda shameful of that and not telling my partners and just kinda going with the flow and not having orgasms a lot of the time or pleasuring myself after sex in order to have an orgasm.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, it makes me think of, some of my clients.
mm,
I they're in their marriages and, maybe they're Depending on how long the marriage is, okay, maybe it's just not that exciting
Mhm.
anymore, which that can happen,
Sure.
and, the partner is not wanting to explore and expand, and I'm not even talking about, opening the marriage. I'm talking about just,
Within the
"Hey,
bedroom.
let's bring in some role playing, let's bring in some,"
Toys.
and, just like, "No, no, I don't wanna do that." And so, I don't know, it kinda makes sense to me that women are going to maybe start to, if they're unconsciously putting the vibe out there that, "God, I'm interested
Mm.
in some attention," and then they get the attention, and that feels good, and then, when you're having an illicit affair,
Right.
y it it's always like, "Woo!" Because you've got that. I forget his name, shoot. It's on my website, but I've now forgotten his name. It skipped my mind right now, but he's a sexologist, and he talks about how wanting plus not being able to have it equals more excitement. So it's just like this,
Yeah, that
I
makes
can't
sense.
have it, but I want it. So now I'm gonna be like, wow, I want it, and you're gonna
Mhm.
go for it more. It's kinda, I don't know, that challenge, but it's also exciting and it's
Yeah.
risky. All these things that maybe we used to feel, when we first started with our partner or our
Right.
spouse. Yeah. And so, if that's, and I just normalize that with my clients. It kind of seems natural to me.
It's human,
It's
right?
human. Women like novelty. Yeah. I think I read in
Mhm.
Esther Perel's book, Women Like Novelty. I think it was her book, but she's got great books, by the way.
She does. She does have great books. She's an
The
amazing
State of
speaker as well.
Affairs, it's great. Mating in Captivity is all about, um, sex with the same person and
Mhm.
igniting that. But anyway,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it kinda, I get it,
Yeah.
really
I
do.
totally get it too. Um, so what else stood out to you from this particular video? Think for me, another another thing was, like, this idea of men being central, right? Central in life in general in our culture, but also central in sex, right? Central in relationships. And this other statistic, which I knew, but hearing it again just blows my mind about, like, coverture laws and how women were not allowed to own property or open a credit card in their name without their husband's co-signing until 19 I was already born. That is crazy. So my mom couldn't have her own credit card
Yeah,
without a husband's co-signing of it or own property. That is insane.
yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes me that much prouder of my own mom to think, "Wow, you chose to leave."
Mhm.
Like, she grew up knowing that, I don't know if she knew per se, but grew up in an environment where women were still kind of property of
Yes.
the husband because they
Yeah.
couldn't do anything on their own. Grew up with that. It wasn't until I was 6 years old that she would then be able to get a credit card on her own property on her own, and my
Mhm.
parents got divorced when I was 12, and so I'm thinking that was only 6 years, and my mom had the guts to leave my dad, and they got divorced, and
Yeah.
I just think back to that. Wow, and then
How
what I
much
also
harder.
find very interesting is my grandmother, my dad's mother, helped my mom financially and hid it from my dad, and the only thing I can think, I was just thinking of it this morning,
Mm.
is that my grandmother knew how hard that must have been
Mm.
and helped my mom financially because she
Wow.
remembered what it was like.
Right.
I don't know that much about my grandparents' marriage. I mean, they stayed married until, their deaths, but it just makes me wonder, I wonder
Hmm.
if that was maybe one of the reasons why she was so willing to help out my mom. And I'm
Right.
sure it was because of us 3 kids too.
Right.
She's like my saving grace in my life. Uh,
Oh, I love that.
but I'm wondering if that was part of it as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so thank you, grandma.
Aw, thanks, Grandma.
Yeah, yeah. Because part of that
Mm.
too, even in 1974, it was still okay to forcibly, basically rape your.
Rape? Yes, yes, because it wasn't, what, till 1993 that it became law that marital rape was a thing, that it was illegal, and
So
before that, you could do it?
so
What
I
the
looked
fuck?
it up. There is a domestic violence services network that just in April of 2026 said that Nebraska, of all states,
Oh, Lord.
I could see it being one of the coastal ones, but Nebraska was the first one in 1976 to legally recognize marital rape. And then in 1993,
Really?
it took that long. 1976 for the first state to do it, and then
Uh-huh.
not until 1993. So in 76, I was 6 years old.
Wow.
In 93, I graduated from college. So
It took him that long for all these states to get
for
on
all 50
board.
states, North Carolina was the last one to jump on board. And, I was just like, "That is unfathomable to me."
That is crazy.
And so some of you younger listeners, it was still legal in my and Krissy's lifetime
Mhm.
for husbands to rape their wives.
Right, because it was our duty to provide our bodies for sex so they could do with it whatever they want.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is a wonderful writer. Learned of her a couple years ago, and this video that we watched made me think of her book. So her
Oh.
name is Eleanor Yaranga. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
We will
J-R
also link we'll link her to the show
Angie.
notes.
She wrote a book titled The Once and Future Sex. There's a title to that. Let me see if I can get it. Going Medieval on Women and Sex. I don't have the title, but anyway, read it. It's so phenomenal. So it reminded me of the back. So, I'm actually not at my home. So I was like, "Oh, I wanna read it because 'cause I've got notes all over it." So I pulled it up and I ran across she's got, essays. And so I started reading some of them, and it is just fascinating again to me how even as far back as medieval times, their misconstruction of women and sex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You sent me one of her essays, and I was laughing so hard and also appalled, like, at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
She was referencing this Twitter conversation between 2 bros that
yeah,
were basically saying, "Oh, every woman wants to be cummed in. Like, every woman wants a guy to come in her."
yeah.
And then she was commenting on that.
Right, right, and that was, like, in 2020 or 2021 because
Mhm,
it was right after COVID, and she's just like, "This is so outdated." Like, because she was saying how medieval that
mhm,
exchange was, but
mhm.
it's so interesting, reading her book, it was like, "Wow, this is so fascinating because the church in terms of the Catholic Church kind of made the ideal and Eve was the ideal in terms of beauty standards. So it was this white, pear shape,
Mm.
even had a little belly, which I was like, wow, how come that can't be?
Can that be a thing again? I would be considered of great beauty.
You what? You're blonde, you're light,
Blonde, light-skinned, a little belly.
and it wasn't for the longest time the
Mhm,
36, 24, 36.
mhm.
Or the big ass with the baby face. I mean, beauty standards have changed
Dramatically. Yeah.
throughout the years. All
Mhm.
the more reason to love yourself as you are. That's a whole
Absolutely.
other podcast. But one of the things she just talks about was that how they viewed what is it? So
You guys are gonna crack up at this.
in 155 CE to around 220 CE, who was the father of Latin Christianity.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
He said that in his opinion, women be talking. And the feminine urge to never shut up was aligned with a more specific feminine openness, which could and should also be thoughtful as lustful. This is from Eleanor's essay. We'll put a link to these at the end. But it said, in order to label women's sexuality as necessarily passive, because we were not allowed to be sexual beings,
Right, we were just receptacles.
and coming from a sort of physical openness that invites quite anything in, whether it be gossip through open ears, food through an open mouth, or, well, semen through the act of penis and vagina sex. And we
Wow.
craved it. We needed it. We needed the
Hot semen. We need that hot semen in us to, I don't know, I guess make us more
well, we craved, according to her, we craved that masculine quality that was inherent in semen, and we were drawn
right.
to it. We didn't crave it, but we were drawn
Oh,
to
we
it.
were drawn to it,
Yeah.
right. I think she said something about women being wet and cold and men being hot and dry, according to medieval times and
Yeah.
possibly
Yeah.
today.
Where does she yeah, there was something about that too, that it's kind of just so weird, and we weren't supposed to enjoy sex because an interest in sex meant that your interest wasn't on God.
Right, right.
And so if we sex, that meant we weren't being righteous.
Right, so we were basically the devil incarnate?
I wonder if that's why there's the, "Oh God! Oh God!"
Do you know how many times I have faked that? How many times I have faked that? Because I thought, "That's what I'm supposed to say. I'm supposed to be so into this, I need to moan and scream things," and meanwhile, I'm, like, doing the groceries in my head, or what am I gonna watch on TV?
Yeah, yeah. But I wonder if our medieval
Right.
sister
Mhm.
started that so long ago to make
Right.
it look like, "No, I really am
I am being
thinking
godly
about
here.
God. I'm
Right.
thinking about God. This
Yeah.
is"
Oh, that is hysterical. Oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, this idea that we just want all the things in all of our orifices. We want gossip in our ears and
Food
food
in our
and
belly.
wine in our mouth and semen in our cooch.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why men think that. I don't wanna say all men, but why do some men think that we want their semen in us? And in fact, it's kind of the last thing I want is to have to clean up.
No. Yeah. When I
I
was having
know.
to have sex with a condom, that was the best because there was nothing.
Nothing to clean up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was yeah, that's the best. So
Yeah, what are some other I'm see, I wanna pull up the article here too because there's so many funny things about it, but also eye-opening. Eye-opening. Oh, she calls you have to read it just to read that she calls Aristotle a douche. She in her essay, she says, "There was a one seed theory favored by basics, like noted douche Aristotle." And in this conception, it was just men who contributed to the physical material of a fetus. Sperm was like a seed that implanted to the earth of the uterus, and hey, presto, baby. Wow, so women even didn't have anything to do with the creation of a baby. They were just receptacles for this magic bean, as it were,
yeah.
that sprouted in the
I
woman's
mean,
uterus.
they were half right. It does implant, but not until,
Right,
like, you gotta have the female part of it, but
right.
isn't that what we're talking about?
Mhm.
Then take all the credit?
Right. And
Oh, but
And that
we're
just reminded me of something. I'm not sure if this was in the video or the article, but this idea, even in I think it's in the video, that even our language supports men-centered versus female-centered, right? Like women, we get pregnant. We got pregnant.
she got
But
knocked up.
we didn't just get knocked up. We just didn't get pregnant. Someone impregnated us. There is no way that we can get pregnant without, I mean, other than in vitro, right? But without penetration of a penis and the spewing of sperm. We don't
Yeah.
just get pregnant. Oh, how did that happen?
Yeah, we say, "She's pregnant." And I
Mhm.
do find myself, because 'cause I'm expecting a grandbaby in September. Um,
Congratulations.
no, but I do say, "Yeah, yeah, my son and his wife are pregnant." Like, it's not
Mhm.
for me, it's they're both pregnant. They're both going to be raising this baby. They're
Mhm.
both a part of how it was made. Like,
Yeah, I love that, like, that word is just so important.
Mhm. Yeah, so when I talk about them, it's not she's pregnant, it's they're
They're
pregnant.
pregnant.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
that. Take note, people. Start using that. We need to start changing our vocabulary and the way that we use
yeah.
words. Mhm.
Rather than, "Oh, yeah, she's pregnant." It's like, yeah, she was even if you don't know the father, she was impregnated by somebody. She was
Mhm.
impregnated by a man
Right.
unless, there was IVF or something that's completely different. We're just talking
Right.
about generalized,
Heterosexual sex.
you
Yeah.
got yeah.
Um, something else just went through my mind about that. What was it? My menopausal brain is is forgetting it at the moment. Oh, well, maybe it'll come back to me.
Well, anyway, this was fun to talk about. I'm sure
This
we could
was fun.
explore this some more.
Oh, and I have a feeling we will in future episodes, so
Oh, yeah.
stay
Oh, yeah.
tuned for all that.
Yeah, kind of fun, but definitely check out that video and Eleanor Uranga's work. You'll get a kick out of uh, the uh, the facts and
Mhm.
also the humor that is involved in both.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just remembered what I was gonna say.
Yes.
Just at the 11th hour here. It was, the fact that some men, right, complain about having to use a condom because it maybe dulls the sensations, and so it's left to women to really carry the mental load of not getting pregnant,
Yep.
right?
Remember
Like
to take
having
the
to
pill
take.
the next day.
Mhm.
Being inserted in your arm.
Right. "Oh, I thought you were on the pill," right? Right. We were on the pill, we have something inserted, we have surgery, like all these things that we have to do to protect ourselves from getting impregnated
Mhm.
when, frankly, sometimes we just don't even want the dick. Sometimes we don't even want it. I could have it all on the outside, folks. I don't always need penetration.
Well, we learned that a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think my parents are gonna be so proud of this episode.
Yeah, I'm going to be sending apology letters to, my children and my husband.
I say we embrace it. I say we
Oh, I'm
embrace it
okay with
because we're
it.
being right. We are being honest and open and real.
Yeah, this is real.
And the fact is, we might be embarrassing some family members. So you're welcome.
Uh-huh.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Sex, Secrets, and Sass. And we are the Gen Sexers.
Yes, 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 yes. Write in the comments any other details that you might want to learn about, topics. We're happy to take them on. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey,
Bye.
everybody.